Do you want to earn more, create a second income, and finally be able to afford that BMW you've been dreaming of? Do you want to earn money without doing anything? Well, this is not the video for you. I'm sorry to ruin the atmosphere, but to earn more, much more, a YouTube video or a course that costs a couple of €100 is not enough. It takes much more than that. But let's not lose hope because there are still small things we can do to earn a little more every month. Maybe we won't reach a full salary, but even just €100 to €200 per month, or even 300 in the best cases, are not so bad. In 2023, in fact, with inflation hitting all of our consumer expenses, having a little extra money every month, either to cover expenses or simply to spend on something we like, is helpful. In this video, therefore, I want to tell you about some small things you can do to earn some extra money. Let's get started. Hi everyone, if you're new to this channel, I talk about personal finance, investments, and among other things, small methods to earn money, like in this case. Let me say it straight away, all the methods I'll talk about are not, as many want you to believe, methods to make money without doing anything. That stuff doesn't exist. Not even Disney would dream of doing this in a cartoon, it's pure science fiction. But they're not complicated methods. I'm pretty sure 80% of you can do at least 2 of these methods, so let's see if you fall into this 80%. First method. Selling your own photos on No. Let's be serious, the first real method is participating in market research or paid surveys. Ideally, companies would like to know as much as possible about their customers or potential customers, so they can make informed decisions with the right information. As entrepreneurs, we are able to make better choices based on reality, which gives us more security and can save us a lot of money or even make more money. And for this information, as a fellow entrepreneur, I can tell you that we are willing to pay real money. This information can be gathered through simple online surveys or, in more complex cases, through focus groups, which are a kind of evolution of surveys, a sort of meeting. Participating in these researches is very easy, no special skills are required, unless it is a very specific case, so anyone can do it. All you need to do is a simple Google search for paid surveys or paid focus groups, and you will find dozens of sites that deal with them. Payment for these surveys, focus groups varies widely, but generally depends on the duration or complexity and usually ranges from €8 to €10 per hour, which is not bad at all and is much more than the average person earns on their salary. By participating in surveys for just 1 hour a week, we have already reached about €40 extra per month, which is not bad at all. The second method. This method requires a little bit of skill, I will tell you right away, social media management. Of course, I need to clarify something. I'm not suggesting that you become a professional social media manager, because it would be quite insulting to all the real social media managers out there listening. Being a social media manager is a job that requires a set of skills and professionalism that cannot be improvised overnight. So, that's not what I'm suggesting you do. If you take this job that is normally done for large companies and brands, and apply it to small local businesses in your city or town, then it becomes more within your reach. Even in 2023, many entrepreneurs are more traditional and may not be on social media, or they may have social media pages that are not properly utilized, and I'm talking about all kinds of activities: restaurants, hairdressers, bakeries, gyms. So, don't just imagine big companies. In some cases, being well positioned on social media makes a difference in finding new customers or simply opening up a new communication channel to maintain current ones. My advice is to initially propose to 3 or 4 companies to set up their social media pages completely for free. This will initially serve you to gain experience, but above all, to create a portfolio of work that you can then show to other companies, to which you can, of course, ask for payment. At this point, you will be able to offer 2 services. Option 1. You can decide to initially set up social media pages, instruct the owners so that they will do it themselves from now on. Option 2. Instead, you can constantly take care of the production and management of social media pages. In this case, payment will not be one time, but you will have to ask for a recurring amount, perhaps weekly or monthly. If you manage even just a couple of pages per month, you can easily earn, in my opinion, an additional €200 per month, which is not bad. Third method. Taking care of animals. No, don't worry, you don't have to become a veterinarian. The fundamental requirements for this type of job are 2. First of all, you have to love animals because you will deal with animals that are not yours, so there won't be any kind of attachment and it will be an unknown animal. Number 2 fundamental point. Having direct experience. If you have never had a dog, avoid taking care of other people's dogs because you are still taking on a certain responsibility and you need to know what you're doing. The 2 most popular services are taking care of the owner, yes, taking care of the owner, and taking care of the animals. If the owner is out of the house for work, vacation, etc., or simply, as mostly happens with dogs, walking them because in this case the owner is unable to do so. I'll start with this second case, which is the simplest. If the owners don't have time, don't feel like taking the dog out, etc. Then you come into play and you simply have to go and pick up this animal and take it out to do its business and bring it back home. Obviously, you can't ask for much for this work, and if you expect to do it only for one animal, you will most likely lose money between gasoline and everything else. So the solution is to try to put more animals on the same walk. If you manage to walk 4 to 5 dogs, you can easily make €10 in just half an hour. So it can be really profitable, but you need to organize yourself well. If instead you want to do something a little different and a bit more sophisticated, you can do the so-called pet sitting. So taking care, in a more in-depth way, of the animals. That is, feeding them, washing them if necessary, administering medicine, pills. But here, more responsibilities come into play. If you've never done it before, be careful about finding clients. If you want to do this type of activity, you can register on online portals and just search for pet sitting, dog sitting, sitting. There are so many. I know it's strange, but the classic flyer distribution for this type of activity works and guarantees that you will only deal with your local reality, so you won't be forced to go anywhere else. The fourth method is Fiverr. Fiverr is a site that I use a lot, but I use it to buy. On Fiverr, you can register and provide your services, anything really. There is no limit, from extremely professional services carried out clearly by people in the industry, like this guy who does 3D illustrations for almost €200 per service, to absurd things like this guy who creates Christmas greeting videos for €10. They look like the gifts your uncle who you never see sends you. The point is that work will truly be without limits. I use it a lot, and I use it every time I need to have a job done that I'm not capable of doing, and maybe for €5–10 I can delegate it to someone, and if this work is done poorly, well, I've wasted €5. If instead it's done well, I've saved a lot of time. In this case, it's a win-win situation. We all benefit. Me because I save time, and the person because maybe in just 10 minutes of a job they can actually do, they earn €10. Obviously, it goes without saying, you have to know how to do something. But, just as there are professionals, as we have just seen, there are also amateurs who clearly move on slightly lower figures. Even relatively simple tasks on Fiverr are very popular. Like adding subtitles, transcribing a video or audio file. Just to give you an idea of how much you can really range. Check it out. Know that there is also a whole market for League of Legends tutoring, which is a video game. My advice, therefore, is to seriously consider Fiverr. Browse through all the different sections, and I'm sure there will be something you like to do, that you're capable of doing, so create a profile and start offering your services. However, be careful because on Fiverr there is often a lot of competition on price. We are not only dealing with Italian people but also perhaps with other people who work from India, so they are able to offer services at much lower prices. Therefore, it is very important to be able to stand out. In any case, though, the goal of earning an extra €100 per month on Fiverr, if you do things well, it is absolutely achievable. The fifth method is to create an online audience. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, blogs. The possibilities in 2023 are still plentiful. It is not absolutely true that, now, if you don't have an audience in 2023 you are destined to not have one. It is not so. You can safely create an online profile and gradually acquire an audience, even with the great boom of influencers that exists. This method, however, is problematic. Initially creating an online profile and publishing online content will not make you earn €1. On the contrary, you will only lose time, sometimes even money, because there will be minimum investments to be made. However, it is still something to consider, more in the medium to long term, so maybe for the first few months you won't actually see €1, then they will start coming if you're good. In this case, having an audience becomes fundamental, not only because in 2023 having an online profile with a certain following represents a sort of CV. So, it could be useful even not for its own sake, that is for other things. I know it's a bit difficult to imagine, but I assure you it's so. But even in this case, absolutely yes to monetize that type of audience, so proposing, for example, advertising traffic and other things. My advice in 2023 is not to have the pretense of launching yourself in a super famous, super inflated sector. I'll just mention a few. Travel, makeup, or fitness are extremely complex sectors, where it is not impossible, but it is possible to stand out, extremely difficult. My advice is to take a very, very, very small niche. Just one thing that you like to do and tell it. Tell it to the world. Tell why you like it. Show how you do this thing. So, even if an extremely small thing, anyway, maybe having only 1,000 subscribers within a niche can really represent an opportunity. My advice is, in 2023, try it if you've never done it before. But maybe you've always thought of saying, come on, I could try to make videos, content, write articles on a blog, go for it. And here we are. Guys, these were just some methods with which you can earn, not so much, maybe an extra €100 per month. Let me know if you have found some useful, if perhaps you already do them, or if I have actually given you a good idea and you will start putting them into practice. If you want to learn about new earning methods, I have written some here and have some ready for another video eventually. But you have to like this video so I know that this type of video interests you. And of course, if you are interested, subscribe so you don't miss the next videos. That's all for today. Goodbye and see you next time.